Fred Taylor is on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Fred Taylor, of course, part of the Pivot with Crowder and Ryan Clark. And everyone knows, I'm guessing, Fred's history at UF and with the Jags. I learned two things about Fred Taylor today, though, that I did not know. And I don't know if people know this because I was looking at his Wikipedia. I had no idea that he played 2 seasons with the Patriots. Did you know that, Crowder? Did you have any recollection of that? Was it against you?
I knew it, but he ain't do much, but I knew it.
What? Hold on, man. This is the introduction I get. First of all, I thought you guys were going to say Fred Taylor was on the toilet. I don't know where that came from. But Crowder knows. He knows that I played for the Patriots for a cup of coffee. 2 years, didn't do a ton. I went up there, won a starting job, got banged up both years. Unfortunately, the first time I experienced turf toe, the worst injury in football. Worst injury. But
I had no recollection of that.
The experience was amazing. It was a total amazing experience across the board.
The other thing that I learned, which I didn't know, is that he grew up in Belle Glade and went to Glade Central. Yep. I did not know that. I was not aware that you were a local guy. My first radio job was in Belle Glade at Sugar 900, the radio station.
Sugar 900, Muck City on the lake. Yep. Wow.
Yep.
Sugar 900. I remember my fondest memory is the football games. Before I started playing, just hearing the football games on Sugar 900 every Friday night. And I said I wanted to be out there playing. And eventually
Glades Day in Glade Central and Pahokee and Glade Central. I mean, that's religion out there.
The Mud Bowl, man.
I've heard the story. Fred, tell them when you got cut from a team or didn't make a team, and you started running around the city, and you built yourself into what you are. Yeah, bro, it's a great story.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was a little crybaby, man. I was a kid in the neighborhood who, I wouldn't get picked. I was on the sideline, and they make fun of me. I just sit there. I wanted to play, but they wouldn't pick me. So I would cry. So I went away. I went out for the Airport Park League. Went out, played tight end and D tackle, dropped all of the passes. I was fast, but I was awful. And it was the same high school, Glades Day, that my son eventually broke all of those records at. I remember every Friday night I would go and watch him play. I would still see that scoreboard, same scoreboard, that score, 31-13. We got blew out by the Jets because I dropped 3 potential touchdowns. But either way, I just wanted to challenge myself. I ran around the entire city to see if I could do it. I went away for a few months, and when I came back, I was as big and as strong and as fast as most of the guys in the neighborhood after about really close to a year. I said a few months, but close to a year. And then they couldn't pick on me no more. I turned into the best athlete, was the only one that went pro, really from my neighborhood, and the rest is history. So I just went and grinded, man, and God looked out for me.
Kind of happened with Solana too, right? Solana, weren't you tired of getting picked on, and then you kept walking briskly around town and country?
All worked out. I'm talking to Freddie T a couple of years later.
Hey, Fred, he was honorable mention on the all-day team soccer.
Hey, let's.
Oh yeah.
I want.
You got any more eligibility?
Don't do that, Fred.
I was gonna say because I got a soccer team in Jacksonville called Sporting Jacks.
Hey, Fred.
Hey, look.
I've got my pickleball championship medal from this past weekend. These guys, they want to talk about some jokes here, but I'm just out here stacking championships. You know what I mean?
Stacking chips. What kind of pretzels? The Pringles? But listen, no. So pivot energy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get into pickleball because it's untapped, uncharted territory. So we feel that Pivot Performance Energy might be a good space for pickleball. So
Lana,
you can be our first
deal.
Our first NIL athlete. What do you say, Channing?
Fred.
Now it's got to go to RC for a vote. RC is going to be the because Fred's voting for Solana. Crowder's voting against him. We got to ask RC to be the deciding vote here.
Fred, he don't have no fleet feet. He can't really move like that.
But he got a medal. They giving him away now. Like what's going on?
Man, he playing 70-year-old women.
With bad knees.
hey, Fred, we all saw Crowder. We all saw Crowder try to bench. I don't know why he's talking smack over here. This guy got half a rep up of 225.
Yeah,
benches like a
0.5.
70-year-old woman. Benches like a
Just
70-year-old woman.
such an embarrassment. But I think Channing he's very smart and calculated. He's calculated Crowder. I don't know if he would have got 3. So in order to say embarrassment for not getting 3, he said, I'm not going to get any and just play into it. I believe that's my guy playing chess. I don't know, but I know I have video of him doing push-ups. We set out to do 20. One night we were in Nashville when we first started to pivot, and we went to do 20 push-ups. And it was about 1:30 in the morning. And, Broadway, you know how it goes. He did maybe 3 push-ups and tapped out. So I don't know if he would have got
drunk. Fred, I was drunk. I feel like Denzel on Flight. I'm drunk. I'm drunk right now. You can't get me at 1:30 in the morning.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
Let's talk football for a second so we don't waste all our time with Fred Taylor. And you saw the Jags and the Dolphins last Saturday night preseason finale. I want to ask the question. I know you're a Jags guy. What's the difference between Tua and Trevor Lawrence? Is there a huge difference between Tua and Trevor Lawrence? Would you take one over the other? What do you see in Tua? What do you see in Trevor that's different?
Well, I think out the gate, I'm taking a 6'6" guy who's won a couple of national championships in college. That's a great question, man. Honestly, that's a great question, Hawk. Right now, man, both guys have been battling injuries throughout their career. We're looking for Trevor to make that leap. He was the first number 1 overall pick in the entire draft. So expectation-wise, one would expect him to be, further along than Tua is right now. Although Tua is a, early round pick guy and a franchise guy, I don't know if either guys have lived up to their draft pick potential. Tua, he's dealt with the concussions, so that makes it tough on him. I don't know. When he's healthy, he has shown a lot of upside, a lot more than Trevor had. I believe, what was it, 2 years ago, before the concussions got really bad? What was it, 4,000 plus yards passing or something like that? So when McDaniels first arrived, so has shown some potential. Then he had the setbacks, obviously, with the concussions and stuff, and then the team just started to kind of dissipate, and all sorts of stuff started to happen to the Dolphins over the last 2 years. Trevor, his best game was probably the playoff games in which he threw 4 picks, but he came back and brought them back, and they were able to go to divisional round to face the Chiefs. Other than that, I don't see any real standout performances. So Trevor, I believe, has a long way to go. There are some whispers there in Jacksonville that, not that they're not happy with him. I'm happy with Trevor. I know I still have faith in Trevor. I love him as a person. Still waiting for him to make that leap, and hopefully Liam Cohen can help him, take that leap. And he's had several coordinators in his 5-year career. 5-year career. So it's been some ups and downs. He had a rocky start with Urban Meyer there. But I don't know. Smart, has the tools. He just has to turn it over, man. Pound for pound, I don't see a huge difference in terms of output between the two guys.
Freddie, with that, talking about Liam Cohen, Duval, that's your man. But talk about him, and then McDaniel is really on the hot seat, bro. I think this year, him and Chris Greer, Miami, the GM, they have to do something. They have to win a playoff game, have won a playoff game 25 years and all that. But through your time, like, how much does the coach matter? If you were talented, bro, you were 230 running a 4.2. That's just God-given. Like you said, God helped you, and you ran around dirty-ass Belgrade and got faster. But
don't talk about Belgrade that way.
Yeah, what are you talking about? My hometown, bro. I got big pride in my hometown.
But Fred, how much to the thing about Tua, McDaniel, now Trevor and Liam Cohen? How much does the coach? How much does the scheme help a player that's naturally talented? Tua is naturally talented, and Trevor Lawrence is naturally talented. But now, what does a coach do for a player like that?
I mean, I think systems matter. Just take Andy Reid, for example. He's like the QB whisperer, right? He's had some QBs in his time, Alex Smith, few other guys. Alex Smith left KC, went off to Washington. You didn't hear about him again. You have guys like when Big Red was in Philly, the Donovan McNabbs, what he was able to do for McNabb in his career. Even Mike Vick late in his career when he got up to Philly. And now what he's doing over in KC, you can plug and play almost. Let me be careful saying this because Patty Mahomes, he does things that we've never seen before. But that just accentuates, it just makes him that much better, that much more elite to pair him up with Andy Reid. We've seen backups get in that system and do well. I'm having a brain slippage here.
Miami,
yeah, who was in
it,
Jacksonville? Chad, yeah, Henny. Right, he's gotten in there a few opportunities and played well under that system. So systems matter, coaches matter, how you're coached matter. The Brady Belichick conversation. Brady's great, but Bill taught Brady how to be a pro. So you have to have these quarterback coach relationships, but the actual systems matter, and you have to put time on task. I don't know how much time these guys are getting in with their coordinators or their QB coach or even the head coach, but all of that stuff matters, man. And you can see one guy play at 80% somewhere, but he goes to another system and he lights out because the system is simplified. When McDaniel first arrived here in Miami, everybody thought the Dolphins were going to be unstoppable. They were doing some amazing things. The league was on notice, and then the league caught up with it. And then now you see some struggles here and there. I do think they have to win this year. I do think the media is going to double down and press that issue, and the ownership, they're going to pay attention to that. That's kind of how Coach Coughlin ended up getting out of Jacksonville. The media kind of doubled down, said he's working the guys too hard. They need a player-friendly coach. A year later, he was fired. I believe he was fired 2 years too soon because he was in the Super Bowl three years after that with the Giants. But that's neither here nor there. But coaches matter. Coaches got to put the time in. They can't cut corners. They got to put the time in. The quarterbacks got to, make it their job. They got to live in the building. And as long as those two are firing on all cylinders, you give yourself an opportunity to be successful across the board as a unit, as a team.
To that point, Fred, I think one of the bigger concerns outside regarding the Dolphins is what's going on inside the locker room with Mike McDaniel, with his presence as a head coach. And even, Tyreek Hill, everybody knows the situation there. I just wonder, you were captain in Jacksonville. You were somebody who was widely respected across the league. How would you deal with that situation where you have a head coach, and I'm talking about as a leader in that locker room, right? You have a head coach. Some people maybe overstepped their boundaries with him a season ago. He's trying to regain some of that respect. And you have a quote-unquote leader, the superstar of the team, who quit on the team last year, and this year is trying to get back into the good graces of the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, the players gotta vet the locker room. You gotta have some guys in the locker room that really want to win, that's gonna snatch, the living crap out of that person and say, look, we're not doing that. Like this is how it's supposed to be. Coach maybe needs a bodyguard player. He needs someone on the team that's on his side, someone that really cares about winning football. And they got to throw all the other stuff out. Who is that guy in Miami? Who's that guy down here? In Jacksonville, we had a few guys that policed the locker room. And that's what made us as good as we were when we were good. We had guys in the locker room that can do that. In New England, when I was there, the Tom Brady's, people bought in, the Willie McGinnises, before I got there. Like that was their people talk about culture, but I think that's misused term a lot of times. I think it should be more about, what's their I believe, like, what's the standard? What's the standard in Miami? Regardless of whatever the respect level is for McDaniel, what do we want to be as men, right? As football players, we want to come and just steal checks and not do anything. We want to come party and hang out, South Beach, Brickell. Like, what do we want to do? It's already enough distractions here. Or do we want to tap in and really play football? These guys got to ask. They got to find out their why. It ain't got nothing to do with Coach McDaniel. right? It's about the guys in the locker room showing up and policing that locker room. And then McDaniels, he can kind of coach and take some off of his plate and not worry about being friends with those guys. It's about the locker room, and they got to figure it out in that locker room.
Fred Taylor, I mean, we're going to have you on during football season if you've got the time, because we enjoy talking to you. How, because we're out of time, how can people get, because Crowder can't answer any of this stuff, how can people get the Pivot Energy drink? Because every time we ask Crowder about anything going on, anything we ask him about the Pivot, who'd you have on? I don't know. When does it drop? I don't know. What are you guys emceeing? I don't know. How can people get the brand new Pivot Energy drink?
Yeah, the Pivot is just one of those machines that just keep rolling. We don't know most of the time, but somehow it happens. But no, it's on
you
Pivot.
know, Crowder doesn't know. It's not we. You know, Crowder doesn't know.
He doesn't check his text messages. He's an awful texter. But no, it's at Pivot energydrink.com is where you can get it. So it'll be in the store shortly. What we wanted to do was via our community that watches the podcast, we just want to increase visibility there first and foremost, so that when it is in the stores, people are aware that it's in the stores. Otherwise, it will just sit on the shelf. And if you're not selling X amount of SKUs within on a weekly basis, then they snatch you off the shelf. So right now, strategically, we're only pushing it through pivotenergy.com, soon to be Amazon to follow here. But if you just tap into the podcast, we have the QR code and all different other places that we can send you to the website to purchase. So it's an amazing product, we believe, in a competitive space, but it's good. We did really well with it. So we got to ship you guys some cases so you guys can check it out.
Do you see how smart my airport husband is?
Bro,
oh my goodness!
Talking about
oh my goodness!
When he started talking about moving SKUs because they're gonna rip the shelf space away if you don't, like melodic. That's a businessman right there.
Hey, so did you catch that? Right? He called me his airport husband. So I give him my hookup. I have concierge key when we fly, or most times. My status is a lot better than his. He just got TSA pre-check, so I get him on the plane. I get him to skip his boarding class. He was like, "Oh, this is just my boo right here, my airport husband." I'm his husband when we're boarding flights. It's awful and embarrassing.
Because I'm zone 7. He's concierge key. Right. I'm getting on with Freddie.
He's zone -1. He boards before the pilot.
Yeah, they drive him to the plane. I ride right with him. Hey, this is my airport husband. Can I get on? No problem, sir. Go and get on the plane.
I got to start traveling with Fred. I was looking at my Snapchat today. It was on this day. You and I, Crowder, were in Vegas. We were flying out of Vegas on this day 8 years ago, and I was snapping you outside of the Burger King in the airport. He ordered a fish sandwich at 9:30 in the morning at Burger King as we were leaving Vegas. So I had to put it on video. But that's what happened. That's my airport husband, the guy who's ordering fish sandwiches at Burger King before we get on a morning flight.
Look, he orders Popeyes at 1 a.m. We touch down anywhere. He's ordering Uber Eats, Wendy's, Popeyes, whatever he can get his hand on. I'm like, just go to sleep. Sleep it off, man.
Freddie, I'd be hungry, Freddie. Man, we been running around all day.
Nah, you're undisciplined, brother. I tell you. Hey, you're a great cook and great everything else, but when it comes to discipline or health and fitness, you just throw it all out. You throw it all away. You don't care.
Won't even need it with the Pivot Energy drink. Pivot Energy drink does it for you.
It's delicious. It really is.
I need your QC Kinetics plugs. I need to get some. My spinal cord. I need a spinal tap. What Mike Tyson said. I need a spinal tap. Spinal. I need your plug over there.
I got you, bro.
Fred Taylor, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you, Fred.
Anytime, fellas. Much respect.